What is up, everybody? Pyanodon's time. It's a Saturday morning. I don't normally record on the weekends, but I had some stuff going on the weekdays, and I've got a little bit of time today, so here we are for Monday's episode. And yeah, look at this. Oh, just these straight lines are gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Love it. Love it, love it. Like it, love it, gotta have it. Okay, those are at least they used to be at Cold Stone Creamery, the ice cream flavor the sizes of ice cream that they sell you. Anyway, I clearly have some energy today, so what are we gonna work on? I think maybe Cermet? I'm just trying to remember everything here. Also, do we have optical fiber? I haven't checked on that since we researched it. We should probably check on it. Nope. It's broken. It's broken. Not really sure why. Did we not put wood into... Aha. There we go. Okay, well that solves that problem, and then I think we'll have optical fiber after that. Let's see if that actually works. Oh, no. We won't have optical fiber till we make photophores. Wait, didn't we already do Trits? We already did Trits. Trits are for kids. Sorry, I'm never gonna be able to stop saying that. If that bothers you and is corny, I apologize because it's never gonna stop. Anyway, Trits are dead. Why are Trits dead? That seems bad. It seems like Trits don't spoil, do they? No. So it seems like somehow all the Trits got taken off the belt without permission. Because that's exactly what's happening. Interesting. Interesting choice, Krydex. Huh. Okay. Well, we need to wire this up to that inserter, and that should only be taking off if Trits is greater than 30 or something. Let's go fix that manually. Don't know. I mean, pretty much in every single animal life thing, I only take off the belt if we have a good amount of them. So it's weird that I didn't here. I guess there are ones where it doesn't get used in the loop. So in those, it doesn't matter. But it's weird. I don't know if... I don't know, I just must have not looked at it. Must have not looked. Okay. Easy fix though, and then maybe we can start working on Navens. Cause yeah, I think we even set up the Photophore stuff, didn't we? We did. Alright, so I'll just take 50 Trits, throw them in here, that'll get Trits started back up. How long has it... Oh my goodness. It's been 15 hours, which is basically when I built Trits. So, there you go. Okay, so after that, let's check on the Photophores, which are going to be in the big crap. You've heard of the Big Bang. Have you heard of the big crap? No, they're not here yet. But we set up this for them. Yeah, we didn't have the recipe yet, but there's Photophores. Non-Photophores go there. We do get blood from Trits, so we're gonna have to have that get hooked in to the blood area, which is this guy. No, it's all of them. They're all part of the same network. Interesting. You know what? I think I don't like that. I think we are gonna actually have a separate network here. So that way this doesn't block up the entire other network when we're pumping Trit blood, as they say. I don't know who says, but somebody says it that way. I guess me. Alright, so there's Trit, blood, everything else other than Photophores is handled, and finally, the Photophores, we have not handled, apparently. Why did I not handle Photophores? Did I decide I was gonna put them on a belt, or what did I decide I was doing? Oh, I've really lost it. Where do these go? The Photophores go on optical fiber, which is right here. Yeah. Didn't I say I was gonna belt them? Why did I not make that belt yet? Here's the radar. No, I guess it's not this radar specifically, but this is the radar that we'll use to transmit the signal on green. And then, so what are we gonna have to do? We're gonna have to measure the contents of this building. No, it needs to be more than that. It needs to be the contents of the building plus these chests. They're already wired up with green. Like, I want to make sure we have some backed up before we start making Photophores, because there's a delay. How many do we need? 1 and 5. So I guess we need a decider combinator to say if we have plastic greater than, we'll say 100 and coating, iron niobium coating greater than 20 in the chests. Then we output a photophore signal on green, which goes to a radar. On green, and we add that into our radar list. I feel like I should have, these are like my game notes, so these should be in a separate little category here. What was in my future notes again? Train station upgrades? Okay. Alright, in the radar list, we've got green, photophore green, or optical fiber to render Trits for the kids. All right, and then we'll have the belt, which will come. Do I really want to do a belt? Is that how we want to do it? How far is this again? It's gonna be about 230 plus 100, so 330. Is that too far? How many is it again? 4. It goes about 2 belts a second. Yeah, about 2 belts a second. So that would be about 150 seconds. Be about 3 minutes from farm to table. That's actually really funny. That was like a perfect phrase for that. It quite literally is from farm to table. More like from butcher to table, but same idea. And by table we mean assembling table. But it's a 5-minute decay time, so it's cutting it pretty close. It's cutting it pretty close, but I think we'll be okay. This is the only thing photophores are used for, right? No, it's used in other stuff. What? I guess we checked on this and it's all... Even this one's not that far away. That's only pi... I guess that's still a whole nother science pack away. I can cross that bridge when I come to it. For now, I will just do a belt. It should be okay. Uh-oh. I don't think... Does this work? Holy crap, it does. I expected the belts to not reach, but somehow I picked just the right spot, and it does work. Okay, I'll take it. I don't want trees, though, anyway. Take it. Have I gone too far? No, actually, I've gone just the right amount. Wait, 3 tiles too far. Okay, there it is. Photophores are ready to go. Those will get fed in, and we're done. Now, the question is, how many photophores are going to end up buffered on the belt? If it's a 3-minute timer, this is a 30 seconds, so I'm going to be rendering one every 15 seconds. Takes 150 seconds to get there, so there's going to be 10 trit renders, which is 20 photophores, which means we need to... What signal am I looking for, by the way? Trit? Optical fiber? I don't remember what signal I sent. Let's go with the trit signal. Like the bat signal. So we want to make sure we have enough for 20 of them, which means I actually want this to be more like 30 and 150. Oh, it was the photophore signal. Right. Okay, so that should do it, I think. And that all gets sent to here and just gets loaded in. Perfect. Is this a problem? These buffers seem large. There's so many fish in here. 392 fish. I guess the fish rendering recipe is a lot at once, right? It's like 8 fish. Oh yeah, you can't see recipes in the remote view. I don't love that. You can't. You have to go back to your personal body just to see the recipes that you can see from your inventory. Anyway, for 10 slaughterhouses, that's 80 fish, and I have 30 slaughterhouses, right? So that'd be 240 fish. But that's still only 240 fish that would get dumped out. No, because it backs up 2 recipes. So that is 480 fish. Okay, and I think cotton guts are the same way. It's like 5 per. Yeah, so you multiply that by 60, and now you've got 300. Okay. So that means they were all on cotton guts. The cotton gut order got turned off, and they ditched all the cotton guts they were holding. That's all there is to it. Cool, cool. Everything seems to be working as intended. And I guess we're not requesting trits, so that's not as intended. And then trits come up here. I'm sorry, I was quiet for a second because about 5 times my brain just kept saying, silly rabbit, trits are for kids. Silly rabbit, trits are for kids. Lucky Charms must have just done a number on my brain as a child. It's what I'm learning in this episode. Man, for those who didn't grow up with Lucky Charms, it is probably just an American cereal. It's like little corn, I don't know if they're corn or wheat or a mixture, but they're like little puffed, actually rice, it might be rice, kind of puffed rice cereal. Not larger than Rice Krispie size, they're more like hearty. I don't know, what would I compare it to? I don't know what I'd compare it to. Kind of like kibble. It looks like dog food shapes and sizes. Tastes better than dog food, but that's the best thing to compare it to in terms of like visuals. It's a different color too, but. And then they've got freeze-dried marshmallows in there, and that is what makes Lucky Charms so freaking good, is little freeze-dried marshmallows. They're so delicious. I can't even tell you how good they are. All right, We seem to not be functioning at all. Cool. Cool. All right. So, what is going on? Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. Oh good, I'm still standing here. Okay. This one is kind of not my fault. It's either the fault of... It's possible it's not the vanilla game, but when I took Trits and I did this, it takes them out of the module slots. It could be, what's the mod called? I don't know if it's Vanilla's fault. I don't know if that happened. In fact, no, I don't think it's Vanilla's fault. It's Even Distribution's fault. Even Distribution does not have a special case, clearly, for handling when modules are the same as ingredients. It should place them in modules first and then as ingredients, in my opinion. But doesn't even Vanilla have that? Yeah, Vanilla has modules as ingredients sometimes, so Even Distribution should handle that because that even shows up in Space Age. Any recipes that use modules as an ingredient, if you also had those modules as modules in the assembler, then that would cause a problem too. So, in my opinion, that is a bug with Even Distribution, and if I remember, I will report it afterwards. Okay, but I think we're now fully handled on full rendering the Trits. They go on that belt. There'll be up to about 20 photophores buffered on this belt, so we will only do photophore rendering if we have at least 30 of the iron niobium coating. That means we'll never run into a situation where we have spoiled photophores. I say that, however, it's possible that something weird happens. So just to guarantee that that weirdness doesn't happen, we will set up an active provider chest to get rid of any biocrud that shows up here. It shouldn't be possible. This could run out of fuel, I guess, would cause it. And apart from that, I don't think it's actually possible. Oh, I guess optical fiber could back up. And I just realized we're not even... I'm not even outloading optical fiber. How much optical fiber did I need? 0.127 a minute. So an hour is like 500 or something. Do I want 5 hours on trains? I don't really know about that. That feels like a lot, but maybe. Okay, so there's optical fiber wired up. Fiber less than, let's say 2,500. That's 5 hours of optical fiber production. That's fine. And that'll be filtered so it doesn't do biocrud. If we ever get biocrud. Cool. So now the only thing, I gotta turn my heater down. It was really cold this morning, but here's another pro tip. You guys are learning about Lucky Charms, and you're also going to learn about dish heaters. If you haven't heard about dish heaters yet, a lot of people, at least in America, I don't know if this is true in other countries, use space heaters in their house. Not everybody does. Some people don't know the joy and glory of space heaters. They also save you a lot of money. Like if you and or your people, your family, whoever you live with, tend to spend a lot of your time in just 1 or 2 rooms, space heaters are often a better way to do heat than heating your whole house. Like, it feels crazy, and in the winter, you know, obviously your heater needs to be on to keep your house at least like some reasonable temperature, but having a space heater just in your room and keep the door, you know, mostly closed is gonna be way less money than heating your whole house. And if you're in your room anyway, or if you're in the living room, have the heater kind of blowing on you or whatever. But back to the blowing on you point, space heaters, most of them in America are these crappy little boxes with coils and a fan, and it just makes the coils really hot and it blows the fan over the coils, and that's it. It is not efficient in any way. And so what happens, I'm just trying to think and do at the same time, which is always a bad idea. What happens is you end up kind of heating the whole room, and you, as the person who's having hot air blown on you, doesn't feel that much warmer. And personally, I hate the feeling of hot air flowing over me. I don't know I can't describe it, but like in the car, like I used to be with somebody that loved like putting the hot air on blast in the car, and they would turn it on rather than blowing at your feet, they would turn it at blowing on your face. And I hate that feeling. Even if I'm cold, I hate that feeling. So all that to say, and it's just, you're heating the whole room, it doesn't feel that hot, but there are these dish heaters, and it's like a little parabolic dish, and it uses the same idea. It just makes a coil really, really hot. But what happens is it has like a little reflector. So they put the little coil at roughly the focus of the parabola or whatever, and then it just radiates the heat. So it's like a big foil dish, and it's not that big. I'd say it's probably about 1.5 feet across, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's 2 feet. It's probably about 1.5 feet across, and it just reflects the heat right at you. And so it almost feels like a fire, like it's radiative heat rather than, you know, I think I'm using the word right. It's not convection, it's conduction or radiation or whatever. I don't know. You feel the heat like you would if you're standing near a fire, rather than having warm air blown over you. And the great part is it makes you feel really warm, even if the room isn't that warm. So you save even more money. Like I can often have the thing on low, which only uses like 400 watts. And on a really cold day, the thing's on low and I feel plenty warm. So anyway, that is my soapbox product sales. I am not being sponsored by Big Dish Heater. I just highly recommend dish heaters. I think they're more efficient. They feel better. It feels like you're sitting next to a warm little fire. It's just so much better than the crappy space heaters that most people have in their houses. I will say it's slightly bigger than the little boxes with a fan, but that's the only downside that I can think of. The rest of it's just pure upside. Anyway, I'm reading this to see how many optical fibers are here. I probably should see on the whole belt. And then once optical fibers on the whole belt, let's see, that makes 2 a second, but we're never gonna get that many. I'd say if we have more than, how long is this belt? So if we have more than like 20 on the belt, we should stop this from running. So this guy's enabled if optical fiber less than 20. So that way, oh, but there's this big buffer. That's not gonna work then. Well, no, it will. This belt can hold 150, no, about 200 optical fibers. Uh-oh, but we get 3 per iron niobium coating. Dang it, that doesn't work anymore. Annoying. We're really there has to have been a better way to do this, but we do need it. I don't think we could have made it that much more efficient, but I'll cut this off at like 50, because 50 is still enough to trigger this, but then it's small enough that when the 50 get used up, it's not going to overflow this optical fiber belt. Because we do need to measure a couple things. We need optical fiber to say, hey, I'm hungry, ask for photophores. But then we also need to stop asking for photophores once we have enough optical fiber. And that's the part we didn't do. I guess I could have just measured this. I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone who already had this in their head. So as soon as we have more than 20 optical fibers on the belt, we stop asking for photophores. That means we'll then have, we said how many photophores on the way? 10? 20? That would still only be 60 more optical fibers, so that should be fine. Okay. So that should be fine. We don't need this to be wired up. We don't need this to be wired up. All right. All is well. Again. Yeah, we just stop rendering photophores when optical fibers get above 20 on this belt, which will only happen... Well, hold on. What's the rate here? I need to make sure we don't slow things down for no reason. So 0.133 is going to give us an optical fiber rate of triple that, which is 0.4. 0.4 on a belt length of 50, 0.4 a second will be about 12.5 at that rate. So 20 is actually a perfect number. Gives us a little bit of margin. If we have more than 20, that probably means it's backing up. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, that was a little bit of a detour from something we forgot to do in the past. So I'm glad we did that. Let's make sure these are running. We're getting there. It's gonna take a while for this to spin up. I could speed it up manually, which I probably will. Move the extra cubs across, and then that will speed up this whole process. In fact, we just want every single pressurized reef running if we can. Still got 2 more. Do I have 2 more trit cubs? The answer is no. I do not. That one ran out of trits. That's disabled still. Good. You know what? I just realized there's only one inserter here. Is 30 enough? We do only need 0.013 per second. We only need 0.75 trits to pass by per minute. So if I have 30 trits on this belt, I think we're fine. What's the size? Yeah, roughly 116 by 34. Uh-oh. I seem to have broken tape line. Okay, there we go. 116 by 34. That's about 300 tiles. So 30 trits would be 0.1875 a second on average, which is about 7 times more than I need. So yeah, that should be fun. I was just like, should we add another inserter to make sure the rates are okay? But realistically, no. All the solids put together are less than 0.5. So this is more than twice as fast as what we need. And that's about the ratio you want, just because like the things aren't always passing by at the exact right time. So the fact that this is twice as fast as what we need is probably good. All right, but I do think we're okay now. Now the 30 on the trit cubs, is that enough? Yeah, I don't think 30 is quite enough. Let's go to 50 just to make sure the reefs are always running. Okay. Let's get this reef running. That one running. There's a couple extras. Put that in here. Alright, we should get to full saturation in like probably 10 minutes or so. Something like that. Okay. So that's good. How's power, by the way? I haven't looked at power in a while. You know, unfortunately, it seems like we just keep pushing we keep kicking the can down the road. Like, I keep thinking, oh, if I build 2 more, we'll have full tidal power more often, but then I add things that cost power, so it just never seems to catch up. It never seems to catch up. So let's add a couple more here. I need to make sure wherever I build it is like the RoboPort and the power pole is hooked up, and the RoboPort's in a green zone, which I think this is. Alright, I'll build 2 more. Wait, I just realized these don't extend to each other. I'm gonna have to build another one in there. Okay, that should work. Wait, did I not super force build that? No, I see the landfill underneath. Okay. All right, should we move on to aluminum pulp 01? I think we shall. Or should we look at Navins? I kind of want to do both. I'm curious about Navins because I don't know what they are. I literally don't know anything. Okay, so they're a fungus. Ah, what? I need red circuits to make them. Did I miss something? Don't we need... Or is it for Sam that we need... No, it's for Sam that we need Navins. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so Sam comes strictly after red circuits. You can make raw coal directly from Navins. Interesting. And we're gonna need stuff we already have, plus red circuits, and then to produce them we need improved fungal guts. Guts make these pretty pricey. As well as improved fungal substrate, which I'm not making. Which is not that hard. It makes in large quantities, but it's some urea and bones and incubated petri dish, which is always annoying. Which means some glass and some urea. So it's not like super duper cheap. So Navins actually cost a good amount of bio, like, fauna, not flora. Not to mention fertilizer, which we're also spending urea on. So yeah, Navins are not massively cheap. How many Navins do we need? 0.9? No. No, that feels like a lot. Uh-oh. We are making more SAM than required by about double in order to have some for building, which is an obvious choice. Even then, we still only get 3 a minute, which is not a lot. That's not a lot of SAM. That's not a lot of SAM, actually. Because SAM is used... I probably can't type SAM. SAM is used in everything. We need way more than 3 a minute. I think we need more on the order of like 10 a minute. Because when I want to build... Now, we're a long way from building entire chunks of tier 2 buildings, right? But when I do, you know, that might cost me 200 SAM. Which currently would take me an hour. Oh, that's not that bad. This is 180 an hour. It's not that bad. I don't know. I think I want a little more than that. And I want to future-proof a little bit. These are all small counts anyway. So I'm going to overbuild just because we can. But I'm not going to overbuild the requirements. It gets a little sticky because you end up forgetting like how much you actually need. But I'll triple that. to 0.15. And then we're more at like 10 a minute. 600 an hour. Yeah. That's more reasonable. And this is still not hard to build these counts for most of these things. And that way, as production catches up, we can handle it. So I don't need 1.9 Navens is the important part to note here. But let's take a quick glance at Naven. And how expensive is this really going to be? Produce, we'll say 2 Navens a second. Yeah, that's kind of absurd. 0.1 bones. This is really not that bad, actually. I said it's kind of absurd, but I was just looking at 47. I don't know how big these are. I guess that really determines a lot of the absurdity of it. It's a decent amount of seaweed, ash, fertilizer, but like not backbreaking, and we know the fungal substrate's easy peasy. It's really the guts that's kind of a lot here. And over the last 10 hours, we've made about 2 guts a second, and I don't think we're using 2 guts a second. So Navens, weirdly enough, are gonna kind of come in for free, riding on the coattails of other stuff. The problem is then we don't have as many guts to make HCl with, so it is costing us some HCl, is a way to think about that. Not very much, though. I think the guts to HCl is pretty bad. Isn't it just 10 per? Yeah. It is 20 chlorine if I did that instead. It's interesting. Huh. Which we could then combine, but we need the lamp, don't we? Yeah, that costs us a lamp, so I don't know if that's worth it. Anyway, Navens are pretty chill. Spores are free as usual in spore collectors. No big deal there. I might actually build it this big. It depends on how big the Navens thingy is. Let's find out. It is medium. 48 of these might be a bit overkill. I don't know. Maybe it's not. It's not that hard. I don't know. We'll figure that out. That is a different episode after red circuits are done. For now, let's look at aluminum pulp. I think we already have somewhere. I think this is the one I'm doing currently. Yeah, we needed phosphoric acid, that's right. Oh yeah, I think I even remember asking myself, is this worth it? Is it worth using phosphoric to support my aluminum needs? Are you serious? Basically nothing uses aluminum. 12 a minute over the last 50 hours. I know, don't worry, I've got duralumin also in my head as what uses aluminum. What I'm getting at is like all of our aluminum usage basically is in the form of duralumin, not aluminum. I just find that really interesting. And duralumin uses a good amount of the same. So like, what's the ratio? Like if we're using 38 duralumin a minute, how much actually is that of the molten aluminum? So the molten is 5 to 1. So 38 duralumin is 190 a minute, right? So per second, that's only 3 molten a second, which would be equivalent to 1.89 aluminum a second. I guess the ratio, what's the ratio then? That's what I actually wanted to look at. So the ratio we get 18.9 per 30. We get 0.63 aluminum. Yeah, it's 63 from 100 versus 20. So each duralumin is equivalent to 3 aluminum plates in terms of molten aluminum cost. So if we're using, all that I'm saying is that when we look up aluminum here, or alum, this is equivalent to triple that number in aluminum. So we're really using about 120, 40 times 3. So we're using about 2 aluminum a second. That's it. That's it. So realistically, this is the amount we're actually using in our base right now, which is kind of absurd. 2.4 phosphoric acid. We're making up to 56. Oh. Phosphoric is saving us what cost? It's saving us borax and graphite. That doesn't seem worth it. I think I'm only gonna make this for the pulp. Just like we kind of are doing with the antimony oxide. I think I'm just gonna... I'm gonna bring in some lime. I don't think I'm gonna do the pulp 1 to pulp 2 thing. I think I'm just gonna make the pulp 1. Let's make sure that we don't need it for anything else. So aluminum pulp 1 goes into the capacitors and the MOSFETs. Goes into the barrels, which are nothing. Pulp 2 goes into pulp 3. And that's it. Okay. Alright, we're good. So we can just use this to make circuits. Now the real question, could I make this on site? Where these are? The only thing that we have here at the aluminum plant is powdered aluminum, which is not even the largest ingredient. Like, it makes it makes more sense to ship powdered aluminum to where lime is than lime to where powdered aluminum is. No matter how we slice that. Because there's no lime over here. I don't think. Lime down here. We could use this lime specifically. And then all we need is the phosphoric acid. I wonder if that would overload. I don't think it will overload our systems because this lime is a fairly small amount. And we're voiding the CO2, which is wasteful, by the way. We could use that CO2. I don't know. I just don't know how often these are running. And when we rebuild acetylene, then we'll break the lime for aluminum pulp 1, which is risky. That's not my normal forward-thinking self, if that's the way I end up doing it. I just haven't set up lime anywhere else yet, though. At least I don't think I have. This is the kind of thing I could totally see myself forgetting I did. Lime provided. Okay, what's this? Yep, I'm just a dingus. We already have lime set up. Now, it's not very much, though. Why did I only set up a tiny bit of lime? Oh, was it for concrete? Yeah, I set that up for concrete, and we just happened to provide some. Interesting. Also out of coke. Is that intended? Yeah, I don't have enough stacks requested. 83. I can bump that up by 5 stacks. Anyway. More lime is saying. How much lime did we need for this? For the actual circuits, since that's the only thing we're doing it for, we needed 1.725 pulp. Just want to make sure we got everything accounted for. Yeah, we did. So 1.725 pulp would be okay, we need only 0.2 lime a second. No biggie. No biggie. Wish I could almost use the logistics bots for that. It's such a tiny amount. I could carry the powdered aluminum with logistics bots. No. What are we doing here? I don't know, y'all. We got options. So option 1, if I had a fluid requester free, which I do, I could make it right here and then provide aluminum pulp 1 right here. And use this lime. And then we're using lime that's on trains, which feels a little better. I do need a fluid provider, but we've got that hooked up right here, which currently is only providing CO2. At what priority, though? At normal priority. Oh, perfect. Oh yeah, this is my actual CO2 production. Interesting. So this feels like the perfect place to do it, because I can import the phosphoric acid here. I can export the aluminum pulp 1 here. I've already got the lime, so all we need is the tiny bit of powdered aluminum, which I'm actually going to use logistics bots for. I don't use base-wide logistics bots very often, but this is a shorter trip, and it's such a tiny amount that I'm okay with it. And we're literally going to need one building, a mixer, a single mixer. So because of all those factors, and the fact that, like, even if I need triple this amount, this setup will still handle it. That's why I'm doing it this way. It's not until much later, when I probably will need to rebuild my red circuit build, that I might need a different way of doing this. Because I can literally just steal the lime from here. No, that's dangerous. I shouldn't do it that way. Because that could cause us a train to come and not get what it came for. So I should steal the lime like this instead. That way we don't... You don't want to take out of a train provider chest. That's dangerous. Okay, so there's the lime, and then we do a requester chest for powdered aluminum. I am gonna go for like 100 of it, because it's 20 minutes. Okay, it's not gonna take 20 minutes. We'll go for a 10-minute trip. 15. I don't mind a little bit of safety margin. All right, and then powdered aluminum, we will, let's see. Just throw down a little provider chest. You know, we don't have RoboCore coverage here. Not logistics, at least. And then fill this guy with, let's say, 200. Done. That's it. That's all we got to do. Aluminum's done. And then we need phosphoric acid in a very small amounts. I'm actually going to... do a station control on. What's this called? What are we doing? Phosphoric acid? Phosphoric acid. That signal goes there. And we're only gonna request 10,000? 9,000? Phosphoric acid. Negative 10 grand. Did I wire this? Yeah, and then wire this to there. Okay. So there's phosphoric acid delivered, very small quantity, and then I'll put the aluminum pulp. He's gonna buffer. We're kind of triple buffering here. So we got the phosphoric acid buffer here. Then we've got the aluminum pulp buffer. Then we're gonna have the request, which will have its own buffer. The problem is if I don't provide a whole train, I can request a whole train. How much are we talking here? 100 a minute? So 1,000 is 10 minutes, which means a full train is 250 minutes. That's okay. I don't want to do more than that, but that's okay. I'll accept that amount. So this goes here. We need to hook it up to there. This goes there and rotates. So why don't we just build the correct one? All right, water. That won't work. And then underground. Now this is spaghetti, and we talked through it together. I don't know if you guys agree that this was appropriate spaghetti. You might not. That's okay. We don't have to agree. I think this was appropriate spaghetti. I don't think this was worth building out a full build for any reason. It's such a tiny amount. And I don't plan to swap. Here's the other reason I think it's appropriate spaghetti. When we get aluminum 04 or 03, I don't know which one we're on. Yeah, we're on 03, which we just, no, sorry, we're on 02. And we determined 02 this, wait, really? Oh, weird. I guess 00 was the one we were using for a while. Yeah, so this is the one we're using right now. 02 we determined just isn't worth it. And by the time we need more aluminum pulp, I will have 03, which probably will be worth it. In fact, it looks like we get some aluminum tailings out of it, which is cool. Like we have two ways to make it. And we get some aluminum tailings, which gives us some free vanidates. Heck yeah. Free vanidates. What do those do again? Those give us... Yeah, that just gives us straight up vanadium pentoxide. It's the organic vanidates, which then get pregnant V2O5 solution, which then gets us the vanadium pentoxide and vanadium stage 4 pulp, which gets us the stage 5 pulp, which gets us the precipitate, which then finally gets us the vanadium pentoxide. But yeah, we actually get some output V2O5 from our aluminum pulp 03. Anyway, by the time I need more, the whole point that I'm trying to say is by the time I need more of this for red circuits, we're gonna have built a new aluminum thing, and we can siphon off the pulp one from that. So that's why I think this is appropriate spaghetti. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right, have I hooked everything up? This is hooked up with the aluminum pulp. This is now CO2 plus. Am I doing plus or and? I don't know. And plus. I see more pluses than and symbols. So I think I've been doing plus. CO2 plus alum pulp 1. Okay, that's got the phosphoric. This has got everything but powdered aluminum. And somehow we've already got one there. How did that one get there? We must have had one in the network. Is that hasn't even started running yet? We don't have power. All right, that should do it. For aluminum pulp 1 on trains. Kind of a perfect episode timing too. We're at 55 minutes. Where did I just build that though? That's the hard part. And then that directly pumps out into this. Just making sure I have it all done. And we didn't. See, I forgot one thing. Didn't do that. There we go. I would expand this, but that's already at 16. I'm already at belt limits with this, so until I have red belts, I can't make more fertilizer out of that. Probably red belts and faster trains, too. Probably need both. So that one will have to wait. Moss seems to be doing okay. It's a good feeling. Seems like with all these extra plants, we've stayed on channel 1 for a while, actually. Does mean slightly higher usage of chlorinated water, but seems like only about 4 of these are running, so hopefully that's okay. Plastic these days is just costing us melamine, I think, is my main way of making it. And I guess that's costing us some ammonia, but not very much. That's a tiny amount of ammonia, right? That's 1 ammonia per two ammonia per plastic. I guess 4 ammonia, because cyanic is also ammonia. Soon, though, meat will help. Meat and blood, because ammonia comes from urea, which comes from blood. So meat plus blood we'll be able to make. And then we get the cumene to phenol. And then we also get the melamine from phenol. So once we have the cumene to phenol, I will definitely be doing that. Because we get melamine and ammonia from acetone, which is phenol. Plus organic solvent, because why not, you know? So that recipe's just dope. This recipe's so good. This is where all of our cumene is gonna go, is phenol and acetone. Phenol's so good. And we need a lot of phenol for Bakelite too. You know, separate thing, but it's true. I think that's much better than the lignin route, but this isn't till Kimsai, so I actually need to do the lignin route to start with, because we are going to need Bakelite for red circuits, for the phenolic board. Which, actually, I need to start working on. That's kind of on my list for red circuits, isn't it? Is that next on the list for red circuits? What's next? Before we end the episode. Got it. Basically got it, right? That's just, yeah, that's just normal. Got it. Or can get it. Got it. Yeah, phenol. There it is. Plus formaldehyde, which is easy. What's the lard for? I actually don't know what that's for. Oh, the etching solution. Right? No. Yes. Yes. Sorry, the etching solution is too high up. Okay. So we need etching solution. We need... a bunch of things. We need Bakelite fiberboard, phenolic board, zinc chloride, phenol. Zinc chloride we might have already. Nope. We do not. Okay. Zinc chloride. Fiberboard. Etching solution. Phenol. Bakelite. And I'll decide where to put what. Like the zinc chloride is probably used in other stuff. Not that much other stuff. Oh, wait, we are making it for activated carbon. Probably on site. Where is our activated carbon? Right there. Yeah, here we go. How much zinc chloride do we need? That makes 0.5 a second. Is that enough? I only need 0.1 of it. I think I'd rather make it somewhere else, probably, because it's also used. Used in 4 places. Nope, 3. I'm never gonna make methanol with that recipe. It's a terrible recipe. Terrible, terrible. There are so many other ways to make methanol. That's, I mean, never say never is technically a thing, right? But like, I'm almost certainly not gonna use olefins to make methanol. Olefins are harder to get. Plus, random zinc chloride costs. When I can make methanol from way cheaper stuff, like random methane and titanium chloride, or just nichrome by itself, or zinc, copper, and syngas, or filtration media and wastewater, or molybdenum and methane, or once I have cheap vanadium pentoxide, I can do that one to get tons of methanol, or tholins, or natural gas and molybdenum, or strip distillates and tetrachloride. Like, I have so many choices. Heck, I can even do orgsolv and olefins to get methanol, if we really want olefins to be part of that. So, and then there's this one. Just no, sorry. Never mind. That uses methanol. Okay, anyway, I digress. The zinc chloride is only used in 3 places total, which is here, Bakelite, and something that we're not going to need for a very long time, which is lithium processing. So part of me says, why don't I just use this to make Bakelite? Bakelite uses zinc chloride, biomass, phenol, and formaldehyde, which is... We have some space here. I could add another 2 stations if we need it. So this actually feels like a reasonable place to make Bakelite and provide Bakelite. So I'll actually modify this to say Bakelite at activated carbon. However, that does give me some fear about expanding activated carbon later. But at that point, I can make activated carbon somewhere else and then just make this Bakelite only. I just feel like this is not going to be enough activated carbon for the long haul. But anyway, I got to be done with this episode. Yeah, I am excited, though. I am excited for all this. I guess we have to do phenol first. Do it in that order. Zinc chloride. I have etching solution twice. Cool. Edit task, delete. Zinc chloride, edit task, delete. I keep saying I'm gonna be done with the episode. My brain has to see this through. Yeah, fiberboards. Not bad. Yeah, we looked at this one. This 12 one sucks. They need to buff this. It's not really better at all. Requiring anthraquinone is ridiculous. Even though it gets cheaper, it's still a pretty large cost to do chromite sand, anthracene, and sulfuric. When all it's saving you is a little bit of sodium sulfate and sodium hydroxide, it's not really saving you fiber, and it's not really saving you treated wood. I wonder if this is a way, you know what this might be? This might be a hard mode thing to get rid of fiber, because if you took the wood turd, or the fiber turd, or wood processing turd, whatever turd it was that gets you fiber every time, you kind of need a way to get rid of some fiber, and maybe that's like, oh, if people have extra fiber knocking around, they can make a little bit more fiber board for their troubles. It might just be more of a hard mode get rid of fiber thing, regular fiber, pure, I'll call it pure fiber, because normally when I say fiber, I'm talking about this one, even though that's called raw fiber. Anyway, so yeah, we'll set that up. No, we won't. Right, that's Kimsai. We'll just set up a big version of our regular fiber board then, which is this one. Which begs the question, I only need 0.2 a second. Making fiberboard in 3 places, that's bad. This is to make starch, though. Once I have a better starch recipe... Actually, didn't we just unlock it? I think we just did. Yeah, we just researched that. So right now, I'm doing it this way. By adding in a sodium sulfate, we get 7 more starch. That's so good. Holy crap. Infinite starch. Unlocked. That's so much better. Yeah, so sodium sulfate, which will also come with sodium bisulfate. Let's put it on the list. Sodium sulfate plus bisulfate will be one of my salt and salt accessory builds. Which will get us more fiberboard, but I'll probably just steal the fiberboard from green circuits for this. Be frank. I guess the thing I want to check, because what we'll eventually end up doing is requesting the fiberboard for the starch for our foods down there. I might just make starch its own thing, because starch also gets requested in a bunch of stuff. I already know some of you are going to leave comments 5 minutes ago saying, LOL, Kredex says he's finally done with the episode. 10 minutes left in the episode. It does make me laugh whenever I do this. It makes you guys laugh too, so it's fine. Starch is used in a million things, but, well, a couple of them are not food, but most of them are food. It looks like there's the high-tier drilling fluids, and then there's 3 non-food items. Huh. Ironically, one of which we looked at in this episode. Yeah, that's fine. So the question then becomes, are we going to rebuild starch on trains or just keep starch here? I think we'll keep starch here. We'll rebuild fiberboard to be the better recipe. Probably only built at circuits. I'll probably have this be the only fiberboard. Is it also done in a pulp mill? Yeah, they're all done in pulp mill, so it'll be easy to switch over. And we'll get 8 every 5 seconds, so it'll double our rate, which will probably keep it fast enough to handle things, especially because starch productivity goes from triple fiberboard to 10x fiberboard. So we'll only need to hand off a tiny bit of fiberboard to keep up with the starch requirements. I think that'll all work out. I can always add another one of these over here or something. Okay. Apparently I filled this entire thing up with fiberboard. That was unnecessary. Cool. And I'm already making Formica if I need to remember that, but yeah. All right, now I'm definitely done. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.